Listen up, brothers. Welcome to the Above and Below podcast, a show where above average guys with below average intelligence talk about everything nerdy, geeky, and otherwise, brothers. So thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown as four dudes work to understand their place in the vast expanse of the Hulkamania universe. So sit back, spark up a hookah, grab a beer, and enjoy. And don't forget to let Above and Below Mania run wild on you, brother. Ooh, yeah! So anyway, how was you guys this week?
Well, it was kind of hectic. I feel like every week that is in this case. Really transitioning from our current intros. It's been a sad week for wrestling fans. On the 14th, so this Monday, we actually lost a legend. We lost Scott Hall. And I know this is kind of a far cry from what we normally talk about, but I think it is important to really pay our respects to what this guy was in the ring and out of the ring. So just so that if anyone out there doesn't know who he is, the man's been wrestling forever. He debuted on October 2nd of 1984, and he had a long and illustrious career with many different promotions, starting out as far back as the Territory era. He started out, I believe, in Florida, then was purchased by the WWE, where he got his famous moniker as Razor Ramon, and he became the bad guy. And that's really where he really took off. But throughout all his entire career, he earned 20 titles roughly among many different promotions. Unfortunately, during the later part of his career and after his career, he had a lot of struggles with drug and alcohol abuse and tons of health problems, to the point where he was essentially wheelchair bound because he needed a hip replacement but couldn't afford it. And I want to talk this maybe on a later podcast, like offstage stuff, but there's a wrestler out there named Diamond Dallas Page, and he, no matter what you think about him in the ring, if you consider him one of the greats or not, out of the ring, the man is truly God's gift to earth. This man took in Scott Hall at his worst, took him into his house, and I quote, to rebuild his life from the ground up, physically, mentally, professionally, and spiritually. And this started in 2013. With all of the health issues, he brought him into his home to help him get clean, to help him recuperate from all of the struggles that he had. And actually, he started a fundraiser, and they gained $110,000 for Scott Hall to get a new hip replacement and for dental work, which was $30,000 above asking, because it was 80. It was my math is terrible. But no, 80,000 was the goal, and they earned 110,000. Because people loved him. People remember him as the bad guy, Razor Ramon. And so he brought back his life. He got clean. He started doing wrestling things again, obviously in an advanced stage, but he got there. But unfortunately, he did pass away, like I said, on March 14th. He fell and he had to get a hip surgery again, and it unclotted a blood clot that he had, gave him 3 heart attacks. And unfortunately, he was basically on life support, and they did take him off on Monday. He was 63 years old when he passed, and obviously we're going to lighten the mood up a little bit, but I just want to leave everyone with his Hall of Fame line when he got inducted in the WWE. Hard work pays off. Dreams do come true. Bad guys don't last, but bad times don't last, but bad guys do. So we're going to pour one out for the homie today. Scott Hall, you're a legend. We love you. And hopefully he's doing great in the circle square in the sky.
You know my favorite sorry guys. You know my favorite thing about him is he was the reason that I know the word machismo.
The fuck is machismo?
Oh, dude, he claimed Ayo way before anyone else made it popular as a meme. He would come out. He literally was the just the 70s machismo guy. He had the little curl. He had the toothpick. He was bad. He was the bad guy. He was great.
It's manly sex appeal. Machismo.
Machismo?
Yeah, like this table.
I hear cheese and think like dick cheese, bro.
No. This table is overflowing with machismo because we're all manly men.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty unappetizing.
Well, I mean, you don't eat it, you live it.
I don't want to savor it, you know what I'm saying?
So back to, you were talking about Diamond Dallas Page.
Mm.
I only remember him from early on as his feud with The Undertaker. When he kidnapped his wife and shit. And it was just like, this is before I was a smart mark. This dude's just like, he kidnapped his wife.
He's
like, this can't be legal. What's he doing? Oh my God.
It was great.
How do they let a man like this in the WWE? He just stole a wife.
Unfortunately, the DDP was really good in the WCW era when they were when there was Monday Night Raw against Monday Night Nitro. He was huge, and then eventually, obviously, WCW lost the war. WWE purchased them, and they brought back a couple of the wrestlers. Diamond Dallas Page was one of them, and I don't think they did him justice because he got buried. His career got destroyed after The Undertaker.
Did he go to TNA after that?
Yes, I believe so.
I think so.
Because they didn't do much with him in the WWE. So it was sad. But again, just out of the ring, the man is a godsend. There's a great podcast. If you guys want to listen to another story of Diamond Dallas Page and a wrestler out of the ring, Jake the Snake Roberts. He's a very old wrestler. Also had a lot of similar struggles. And Diamond Dallas Page brought him in, helped him get clean, and he's been clean ever since. It's a Joe Rogan podcast that interviewed him. Just fair warning, if any of you guys listen to it, it touches very heavy subjects. It's kind of rough to listen to, but it's raw. It's him telling his story. And again, DDP is aces. No matter what he did in the ring, he's a good
Sounds
guy
like a genuine dude.
And he doesn't ask for anything in return. He just wants to genuinely help these people.
If my name was Diamond, I wouldn't ask anything in return either. What a cool set of parents that guy had.
So back to the war. Are we talking like a physical war or?
Oh, I love getting into this.
Well, I mean, maybe not. Well, I mean, it's wrestling. It is physical. But literally one time, Triple H and Shawn Michaels showed up at the enemy or other promotion Nitro in a tank.
Yeah.
So I guess it's war.
So literally they were fighting. So at the time, they were the two big powerhouse promotions. It was WCW and there was WWF at the time. And they were fighting for ratings around the same time. So it became known as the Monday Night Wars. Because at the same time that you could go and watch the Monday Night Raw, then you could also watch Monday Night Nitro. And for the longest time, the WWE wasn't doing too hot. WCW was winning that war. They had, funny enough, we're talking about Scott Hall. Scott Hall, the most of the clique, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, they all jumped ship to WCW. They brought back Hulk Hogan. They did the NWO. That was huge. And that was all WCW. And then, backstage politics, bad management really tanked WCW in the later years. But they had WWE in the ropes at that time. But then, obviously, WWE won out.
You imagine you're just like, I'm going to suplex you in the next week. The motherfucker just rolls up and he's like, oh yeah, I've got a tank.
No, dude, it was nutty.
Carry this, you filthy casual.
It was nutty because you had the two really big factions. You had the NWO and WWF was like, well, shit, we need something edgy and something cool. So they got DX.
Yep.
That was Shawn Michaels, Triple H. They brought in X-Pac. They had China.
X-Pac?
You don't know X-Pac?
Bro, dude, so I like to... Shut up.
He's yelling at our IT guy.
I liked wrestling between the ages of as young as I can remember until I don't know, 10 years old.
Right. So you would say maybe mid 2000s.
Yeah, the Hardy Boys and their
oh yeah, no.
That sort of shit. So I don't have a lot of extensive knowledge on wrestling, and just sitting here listening to all these fucking crazy stories. Dude, I can only imagine thinking as a kid, sitting there as a kid, I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking it's all real, by the way. Figuring out wrestling isn't real is getting told Santa Claus isn't real as a kid.
Devastating.
It was shit. So as a kid, I can just imagine myself sitting there and seeing these fucks roll up in a tank.
No, dude, it was nuts.
And just just getting overly hyped about it. Man, I remember playing the PS2 wrestling games 2008, 2009, SmackDown versus Raw.
Great games.
Holy God, dude, the amount of, I think it brought out a violent side of me though, really violent, because you could just make the computers just stand there and beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
So I remember like going to the area with the most like things you can pick up and hit people with, and just like, you know, because they couldn't fight back, so like I just sit on them and just punch them for like half an hour, and I'm just like, yeah,
It's a power trip.
this is good.
I played those games a different way. I stacked all the belts on one guy, and then I put the AI up to the hardest it could be, and I just defended him for as long as I could.
So your current WWE creative.
Yeah,
Let's put the belt on one guy and he'll just defend it to everyone.
yeah. Except I wrestled more than once every 6 months.
Oh.
Yeesh.
I hate Brock Lesnar. I mean, I love him, but I hate what they did with him.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually love Brock Lesnar. Like, so I'm super new to wrestling. I had an action figure of John Cena when I was a kid. That is about the most exposure to wrestling prior to like the last 2 years I've ever had.
You know who else has John Cena and is a great movie franchise? The Fred trilogy.
No,
Where John Cena plays an enamoring role of Fred's imaginary father. You get to see John Cena just put him through the table. So that's why we should watch Fred.
He's literally putting us in the process of making us watch these movies.
We're not-
We're gonna
we're gonna
watch
have
it.
to.
We're gonna have to.
no.
It's gonna happen.
No, I'm not
Better
doing
than
it.
The Dark Knight, better than Lord of the Rings, better than Star Wars.
Holy
Shut the
shit.
fuck up.
The Fred trilogy is
So
untouchable.
now we have to.
So anyway, you were saying about your John Cena action figure.
So no.
Throw the statue.
The IT man's really mad.
He's not having it. So anyways, it had nothing to do with the John Cena action figure. What I was saying though was the first pay-per-view that I watched with you guys. You guys were like, "Hey, come and watch wrestling." I was like, "Cool, let's do it." And I know nothing. Was a
Royal Rumble.
it was the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble, and Brock Lesnar was in kind of like in the middle. I'm pretty sure.
No, he came
No,
in
that was-
first.
Oh, he was first.
Remember, because he threw everyone out of the
motherfucker.
ring. Like he eliminated like 15 people.
I knew nothing about this guy, but all I wanted was him to just keep beating the shit out of dudes. It was so great.
Before that started, I literally sat there. I was just like, "Oh, he's coming in first. Great, we get to see 30 minutes of Brock Lesnar just throwing guys over the rope."
And it was wonderful.
It turned out to be super entertaining. I was mad the whole time, but it's just
It was almost like a car wreck. You didn't want to look away because you wanted to see who else he was going to eliminate. But it eventually got to the point where we were all cheering him on because we're like, "Yeah, throw someone else over the rope."
Didn't Ed,
Thankfully, he didn't win that.
I was gonna say, didn't Edge win that, or was that the next?
I think that was the
one?
next. Yeah, because that was the next Royal Rumble where he came out.
Yeah.
Christian came out. That was
that one was
watching
amazing,
Edge
too.
come out again.
Yeah,
And
I
I
know
mean,
nothing about these guys.
And you gotta think, we grew up watching him, and he had to leave because of an injury, like a really bad injury, and he did his goodbye speech, and everyone was real sad because he was like going back. He was kind of like a Scott Hall. He was the bad guy, and at the time, and you got to consider this, that if you at the time, like when you think everything's real, or even like after the fact, if you hate someone, they're doing their job.
I hated CM Punk.
whoa.
He was heel,
No,
he was a heel for a while.
There's a
though.
reason why.
But kind of going back though, like he did his job. We hated him. Like he played a heel so goddamn well. And then he left, and everyone was like, "Oh fuck, we're losing one of our best wrestlers right now because he's great." And then he comes back. Like there were the rumors that he was coming back for the Royal Rumble, and we hear his intro kick in, and I felt it in my loins. I was so excited.
I remember the exact moment I fell out of love with wrestling as a kid. I remember the exact moment. And it was traumatic. And it's why I hate CM Punk.
Go ahead.
Because he trashed my childhood.
Oh no.
I loved the Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy was a badass. And I remember, at the time as a kid, I didn't know that he was mixed up in drugs and stuff, and it was just really impacting his career, and that's why this was happening.
Yeah.
But man, I remember for Christmas, I got a Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, action figures.
Oh.
I literally, almost pissed myself. I can't remember another time where I screamed at a Christmas present.
That's amazing.
Well, so there was I think it was a Hell in a Cell match. Not a Hell in a Cell, just,
cage
what's the
match?
one where they throw each other out? Like, they have to throw each other out.
The Royal Rumble.
That's a Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
No,
right.
in a cage. There's a
The-
big cage. You remember the big cages?
No, you have to get out to escape.
Yeah,
Like
so
to
there's
win.
so there's the cage.
That's exactly. So
Yeah.
it was Jeff Hardy, and CM Punk. And I remember I got to stay up late because I had a bedtime and shit. I went back to my parents' room. They had a TV in there. It's one of those shitty, now it's, dude, I used to think that TV was cool as fuck. Now it's just this fucking blocky Minecraft block that looks like shit. Sounds like shit. You turn it on, it's like, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, bear.
OG TV.
But I was sitting there, I remember watching it, and I remember them both being up on top of the cage, and he fucking kicks Jeff Hardy down into the thing or whatever, and wins. I remember just bawling my eyes out. I literally turned off the TV, went into my room, and just cried. Done! Because the circumstances of the match is, if you lost, you're out.
Right.
And I was just like, bro, where's it?
Kind of circling back to
hyperventilated and like threw up in my mom's bedroom, and I got hit. And no, I'm kidding. But
for all intents and purposes, Jeff Hardy is doing a lot better. But his spiral was rough to watch because after he left the WWE, he joined TNA.
I didn't know,
which is now Impact Wrestling. So there's this old wrestler named Sting, right?
I know Sting.
He was like WCW's main guy.
He was WCW's Undertaker.
The poster boy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And so after WCW's death, he didn't sign with the WWE, and he just kind of went off and did his own thing. He got signed with TNA, and he was a mainstay for a while. They brought in Jeff Hardy, and
was he as badass there as he was in?
No, because because again, it goes back to how fucked up his life was at the time. There was what was the name of the fucking pay-per-view?
I don't even remember. I just know Jeff Hardy was high as fuck.
Yeah, so it's
what a cool guy.
It's the main event. It's Sting against Jeff Hardy. Sting comes out first. Jeff Hardy, like, there's a delay. He's not out yet. His intro cuts in, and then he walks out slowly. Dude, he is swaying.
Oh, fuck.
He's looking at the camera. He's like, oh, like, you can tell he is fucked up. He makes it to the ring. He takes off his shirt. He starts acting like he's throwing it into the crowd and starts going like from post to post. The crowd is turned on him at this point. Sting is like, what the fuck? And it got so bad that the owner of TNA in the middle of this match comes out and grabs Sting by the shoulder and whispers something into his ear. And you know it's just like, fucking end this match right fucking now. We can't have him out here. And so he grabs him. He does like 2 moves and he hard pins him so that Jeff Hardy can't escape. Wins the match, walks out, fuming. He turns around right before he exits and he goes, I know. He's yelling at the crowd, like, I know, it's bullshit. Then he walks off stage. And it literally cuts to Jeff Hardy in the middle of the ring, zonked out of his mind, in the corner, just like, oh shit. And the pay-per-view ends.
Fuck.
TNA, like, that was one of the worst pay-per-view TNA ever had.
Jeff Hardy looks so shocked too. He's just like, what just happened?
Yeah, could you imagine tripping balls and this fucking face painted demon of a man? This guy's coming at you and just fucking flipping you around and then holding you down. Man, I would have been fucking just like, wow, I need a cigarette.
This crow-looking motherfucker, because that's where they got the inspiration for the new Sting. And he just holds you down. He used to come out with a fucking black baseball bat ready to kick some ass. Sting is great. And it was a really dark time for Jeff Hardy. And I don't think he lasted much longer with the promotion after that.
No.
I think that was his last whole big thing. And then he got clean, as far as we know.
All wrestlers have a wholesome recovery story, it seems, and I'm here for it.
Unfortunately, not everyone, but those that do, we should at least celebrate a little bit, because unfortunately, not everyone does. Unfortunately, there are really bad stories.
Randy Orton was doing cocaine.
Was he?
Yeah, for the longest time. And I forget who it was who basically pulled him aside and said, "Yo, you gotta fucking stop, man, or you're gonna ruin your life." And he did. And now he's just like one of the top draws of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
WWE purchased ECW in the mid-2000s, and one of the main draws was Rob Van Dam, RVD.
I remember him!
And he actually got kicked out of the WWE because he got pulled over with another wrestler, and they had pot. And they got arrested, and he didn't make it to the next show, so they were like, fuck you, you're out. And so they kicked him out. Which is hilarious now, because he's back shilling his wrapping papers, his weed.
I was gonna say, like, walks out with the fucking
do you
joint.
remember that?
Yeah,
it was a fucking pay-per-view, and he's just like, that's RVD, and he's like, got his wrapping paper, and it's just like, it's a big fuck you to the WWE now, because now, you can sell that type of stuff, and in certain places you can smoke it, and so it was okay, but not when he did it, and that's why he got kicked out.
Man, WWE used to be so ridiculous. There was a storyline where there's big powerlifting motherfucker Mark Henry.
Real quick. So like this is where that I think WWE and wrestling gets so interesting. Because I stopped as a child thinking it's real, found out later, oh, it's fake, and then like I'm all like, oh man, it's fake, it's stupid. But then hearing you guys like at multiple occasions bringing up these wild storylines, and oh fuck.
So anyway, Mark Henry, they call, at the time he was Sexual Chocolate. That's what they called him. Big motherfucker.
I remember
What
Mark
a
Henry.
fucking name.
Yeah.
Wait, Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, Sexual Chocolate.
Oh my god.
So anyway,
tasty.
he has a love affair with like a 60-year-old wrestling woman. Her name was Mae Young. She's a legend. Absolutely.
I remember this.
And they do this storyline where she gets pregnant.
She's like 80 at the time, by the way.
And they
Oh my god!
they go through this whole
That's hilarious, dude. She's so. I expected like when you said like old wrestler like thing. I expected like this fit without. She looks like she could be my grandma right now.
She was part of the Golden Girls. She looks like she should be on the cast of the Golden Girls at the time.
She died.
And she was taking hits at that age too. Like she was taking bumps. So anyway, they do this whole storyline where she's pregnant and she's gonna give birth. And when she gives birth, it's just a hand. It's a human hand. And then later on,
Wait, did they show the birth? Did
Yeah,
they, like,
yeah. It was recorded. It was a vignette that they did where obviously they didn't show any of the.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, a hand comes out of where her
Like
cooch should
floating?
be. No, it just comes out. I guess they had someone under the table and it was draped. So then when she gives birth, a hand comes out of where a baby should. And they're like, oh my god, it's a baby hand. It's a fucking adult hand.
And then it comes out later on, like way later on, like just a couple years ago.
She uses it as a weapon now. Like she spreads her legs and a full fucking fist just comes out of her cooch.
No, someone asked Vince McMahon, like, okay, what was the deal with the hand? And he goes, I don't know, it was funny though.
That's honestly because I had a very similar experience. I feel like a lot of WWE, like wrestling fans, have that moment of clarity when they're like, oh, this is all fake, this isn't real. I had a very similar situation. It was actually, and I do want to touch upon this story because I think it's a nice little segue, where they essentially had to cut and bring it back to real life. And then I was like, oh, wait, this is all fake. And then I just kind of fell off from it. In college, I had this buddy who was really into wrestling, like all his life, and he was still into it. And I was the only one in our friend group at the time that had any wrestling knowledge. So me and him, we would have our conversations. We'd talk about the old days, and he would talk about like what's going on now. And I wasn't really into it. And we had a conversation one day that really opened my eyes. He's like, Steven, you like what happened that took you out of it? I told him my story, and he's like, okay, well here's what wrestling is. It's fake. But to do the things that they do on a daily basis and not kill the other person is a spectacle in of itself. Sometimes just see the athletic ability to be able to do the things and have everyone walk home at the end of the day is a miracle and is a spectacle in of itself.
Yeah.
And then he got me to watch a pay-per-view. It's a completely different promotion. It's actually in Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling. And at the time, it had the main event was the biggest match ever. Like it was highly rated. It was like rated 10 out of 10 by everyone. It was
Kenny Omega
and Okada.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about this, so I watched the match. It was like an hour and a half, and obviously, normally when you do wrestling stuff like that, they'll give you like backstory right before the match. So I watched the backstory. I saw what was brewing, and the match kept me enthralled from beginning to end. So much so that I went and watched the entire 4-hour pay-per-view of the whole thing and loved it. And I came back to it, and I can't say I'm as big of a fan. I don't watch it every week like I used to. But I have a respect for the craft, if you would.
I can respect that.
I love the storytelling
right
that they do with wrestling. Like,
bro, gave birth to a hand, fighting God, like.
No, but I mean, like they always do like a really compelling story. It's anime. It is 100% redneck anime.
It is redneck anime. It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like,
and it's moments like these that you start looking back. And I'm in a part of a couple different Facebook pages of like different wrestling things and some of different eras. And I absolutely hate this because I get it, right? It's nostalgia. You got the rose tinted glasses on. You're like, this is the best. and this is the best it ever will be. And there are so many fans like that. Like 90s wrestling is the best. 80s wrestling is the best. Early 2000 wrestling is the best. Right now is dog shit. First and foremost, the quality of wrestling that WWE is producing now is leagues better than what we had in the 80s and 90s.
Especially in technical ability, too.
Yeah, no, like what they're doing. Because before, and you can still kind of see it, Vince McMahon, when he picked his stars, he wanted someone physically imposing that looked good, but because of their size, their wrestling ability was kind of lacking. They knew 2 or 3 moves. I mean, Brock Lesnar, unfortunately, is one of the best examples of this modern day. The man knows 4 moves. The man knows the F5. The man knows
the suplex.
He can punch and kick, and that's it. That's all he does.
Have you seen his neck? He's got the articulation of fucking Darth Vader, dude. I would only list him up to 4 moves.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but that's what wrestling was before.
Yeah.
You didn't have the smaller wrestlers, the technical wrestlers, the one that did all these fantastic moves.
Greek gods, essentially.
We
only.
got to that, but that wasn't what was popular back then. And so I try not to get into arguments with people online because I don't want to get Facebook jailed. But like when people are like,
right.
"This is the best wrestling. It's never gotten better," I just want to be like, "You're fucking wrong." And I actually brought a little list with me.
Oh fuck me.
Of old storylines that the WWE greenlit and aired.
Steamroll through them. I want to know. And whatever one catches me, because I know nothing about wrestling.
Just stop me when one sounds interesting.
Okay.
Then. So the first one, and this kind of goes back to some wrestling stuff going on right now. The Undertaker's finally getting inducted in the Hall of Fame.
I know about that. I remember whenever it was happening, and everybody was just so emotional.
And it's about
and even I watched a small video that they posted online. I was like, fuck me, man. Tear rolled down. You know,
and it was fantastic. It's finally happening, and he deserves that spot. No one has the career that Undertaker has. The man is a fucking legend.
You remember hearing those bells as a kid?
Oh, dude, it still gives me chills.
Chills.
It still gives me fucking chills. Well, something that the WWE would like you to forget is that on the same pay-per-view that The Undertaker aired, which was not Backlash, Survivor Series, they were also doing this really big thing where they had a giant egg on the side of the entrance ramp for weeks. And the announcers were like, what's gonna come out of the egg? And they had their speculations. They had like, it could be this wrestler or that wrestler, whatever's gonna come out of this egg.
He's been living in the egg.
It'll be fantastic.
He's been living in this egg.
But then creative was like, well, shit, whoever we bring out of this stupid fucking egg is going to have all of their like momentum burned instantly. No one's going to look cool coming out of a giant chicken egg.
Yeah.
So they scrambled, and last minute, they came up with the fantastic idea to bring out the gobbledygooker.
I need you to
What the
pause
fuck is
real
that?
quick. I need you to pause real quick. Did you just make the joke that they couldn't decide what was coming out of the egg, so they scrambled it? You're fucking kidding me. You just said that.
I said scrapped it, but that's hilarious.
No. You said scrambled.
What? Okay, so yeah, the gobbledygooker came up on stage. He did his little bullshit.
This fucking thing?
Yeah, yes. He came out of the
It's
egg.
a fucking giant chicken.
So just remember,
It's a turkey.
It's a turkey.
Oh, it's a giant fucking...
gobbledygook. So you got to think. This pay-per-view gave us birth to The Undertaker and the gobbledygooker. Now the good part about this is that even though he was clearly a joke and it was a horrible ending to a storyline they were trying to make,
just on the TV all the time, him just working out.
So they keep bringing him back as this running joke, which is hilarious because one of the more recent wrestlers to actually play him is Jey Uso, one of the current wrestlers. He was one of the guys that played the gobbledygooker in one of the later episodes that he was out.
Man, I'm so happy about that. I love the Uso brothers and like the whole fucking story they got going on.
I'm gonna tell the best story ever.
All right, go ahead.
So I had to look it up because they were like they constantly referred to each other as Oos, right? And I didn't know what that meant. And they were, they're part of a long line of Samoan wrestlers, like the biggest wrestling family ever. And I was like, well, what does this mean? So I looked it up. And Oos is like bro. And Uso is brother. So technically,
Brother
they're the brother brothers when they come out on stage.
That's funny.
Hulk Hogan just getting moist. Brother.
So we got the
The
gobbledygook.
Papadenuso.
We got the gobbledygook, and you made mention of this, and it's one of my favorite stories.
I love hearing this story because it gets more interesting each time you guys tell it to me.
So
I catch little details.
Mr. McMahon canonically has a victory over God.
The Christian God himself?
Yes.
Damn.
How big does your dick have to be like, all right, this is the storyline we're going with. I'm going to pin God.
No.
You're going to do what?
So
I'm fighting God.
So it was this whole thing, and it was months in the making, where Mr. McMahon was feuding with Shawn Michaels. Now, Shawn Michaels also had a bit of a rough time,
The Heartbreak Kid.
and he cleaned himself up.
Excellent.
And he became, he was like, okay, well, spirituality helped me come through. And they had this big blow-off match at at WrestleMania where Shawn Michaels, it was an Extreme Rules match, just completely kicked McMahon's ass. By the way, before this match happened, because of course he was like, oh, God doesn't do anything, God is not on your side. The McMahon family goes to a church.
The whole family.
The whole family.
Like
And
to support him?
They sit down, and Mr. McMahon prays to God in the most condescending manner.
I kind of want to listen to
We'll
that.
have to watch it after, but it was ridiculous. So he comes out, he gets his ass kicked, he gets pulled out on a stretcher, and then McMahon was like,
Wait. He gets his ass kicked by God in the church?
No. Shawn Michaels
Oh.
in WrestleMania.
Oh.
Could you?
So then he comes back next week, and he's like, Shawn Michaels, you didn't beat me. It was God. And I am going to fight God at Backlash, or whatever the next pay-per-view was. And so literally...
The Green Goblin got his own TV show. God damn
And
it.
so these guys, it was a whole thing. It was McMahon versus God. And then...
I'm so like that.
Did you kill him?
No, dude, it's a great story.
You
And then-
killed him?
And then they come out, and McMahon's the first one to come out, and he comes out with Shane McMahon. And then, everyone's like, how the fuck are they gonna bring God out on stage?
You didn't take a guy in like a costume or something.
Worse. It was a spotlight. A spotlight flashes onto the entrance ramp. No one's there.
Was there like holy music playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the spotlight walks down the ramp onto the stage, and obviously it's a big joke, and McMahon pins him. But then the funny part is God gets revenge
What?
and destroys the ring that they're in
God
as
too.
they're leaving.
The ring just starts rumbling, and then it just starts
You
falling
see, that's
apart.
what's great about this. So like again with like them just doing dangerous things and walking home from it. Dude, I would fucking bust up if I was in a ring and it started shaking and I had to pretend God was trying to smite me in front of thousands of people.
Millions of viewers on the TV.
You imagine like being on TV? You imagine if I went on TV, my stupid ass self, and was like, I'm gonna fight God. Everybody would just make fun of me. The balls. That's why he won. That's why Vince McMahon won. The balls you have to have a successful TV series. And you imagine like going to your guys and you're just like, hey guys, so I know I have this going on a really good streak right now, but like I have an idea.
Gotta fight God.
I'm gonna kick God's ass. And I'm gonna win. And they're just like, and all I imagine is him going up to them and him like grabbing him by the face, and he's just like, I'm gonna fucking get God. And they're like, yes sir, yes sir. So they just put together this whole thing for Vince McMahon to say he has a win over God. And I love him for it.
Is he just explain the fight? Is he just like punching air?
No, he comes
Was it a
out.
mental
and
battle?
It's a spotlight.
That just
No. It literally, he comes out on stage. McMahon makes a big joke about it. He starts dancing around because that's what he does.
Disrespecting God.
And then he throws his jacket, his suit jacket on the ground, and he lays on it. And the ref counts 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that wasn't a fair fight.
No!
Oh yeah, no. How are you gonna fight a spotlight?
I thought it was gonna be like dramatic as fuck.
No. That was it.
Dude, he should have climbed up in the rafter and just started beating the shit out of the spotlight.
It was fantastic.
He pulls out a gun and shoots the spotlight.
kind of going from McMahon and how nuts he really is. So fast forward a couple years, he actually has a feud against Trump.
I remember this is one of the last things, the last WWE arc I remember.
So for those of you who don't know, McMahon and Trump were feuding. It was stupid. And so they each had a wrestler to wrestle for them at WrestleMania.
The champions.
And the loser was going to get their head shaved at WrestleMania. So
did one of them cry when this was happening?
Yeah, McMahon.
I remember that. Holy shit, a core memory if I've ever had one.
Do you know why McMahon lost that and got his head shaved? She can't shave a toupee.
But anyway, so McMahon got Umaga as his champion, and Trump got Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley won. So they shaved his head, and then after that, we started seeing McMahon's slow descent into madness.
He became Lex Luthor,
dude. So he started going crazy. I'm pretty sure around this time DX was fucking with him too.
Oh yeah, all the time. Constantly.
So it comes off to a very to this crazy ending of the story, which happened abruptly. I'll talk about that in a second. But essentially, it cuts to the end of the show, right? And McMahon is walking through the halls backstage, and all of the wrestlers are lined up against the walls, watching McMahon walk. And McMahon is like glazed eye. He's not paying attention. He's just walking. Right?
What a trip.
Fun fact within the story, one of the wrestlers on there, because they were supposed to be serious, one of them was smiling from ear to ear. He got fired after.
Ooh. Legit fired.
No, legit. He got fired. He's like, you were supposed to be serious. And then he fired him. So
I have a win on God. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So the general manager at the time, I forget his name, but he walks up to McMahon, puts his hand on his shoulder, and he's like, hey, McMahon, your limo is this way. And so he walks to this limo. Again, this is like a 10-minute vignette. And he gets into the limo, he closes the door, and the limo literally explodes. And they cut. Everyone thought we just saw fucking murder, someone died.
And it was actually for real?
Canonically in the story, McMahon died.
I know, but I can imagine watching this as a child and then it cuts.
Oh, dude, I cried. I cried. What did you think? Like, if we're thinking it's real and he just walked into a limo and it exploded, McMahon's dead.
You know that episode of South Park truly, where they get it up as wrestlers, truly captures the essence of what this show is.
It really is, and it's
what
fantastic.
the WWE is. I love it.
So,
it took his job.
Now, what was going to happen is there was going to be this big blow off that a wrestler at the time, Mr. Kennedy, was going to come out as McMahon's illegitimate son and was going to try to gain the company. Oh. And there was this big blow-off match that, unfortunately, because of real-life circumstances, the death of Chris Benoit, they had to cut the storyline short. And they brought back McMahon, and they had this whole thing. This was before it was known that he actually killed his wife and kid and then himself. So they had to do a lot of backtracking from that. But essentially, the original storyline was scrapped. And this goes back to the almighty genius that is the WWE. They're like, well, shit. We can't do the storyline as intended. What are we going to do? So they decided to make the illegitimate son Hornswoggle.
I remember. I don't remember the explosion. I don't. But I remember that. I remember how he always just crawled from under the fucking ring.
Yeah. And so he became the illegitimate son of McMahon. And that was the whole thing. And then McMahon was real mad that he was his son. So he would beat him on live. And then Finley.
Wait. You're telling me you got to see a predestined episode of Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Vince McMahon is Tywin Lannister. Hornswoggle is Tyrion.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what it is. And then Finley, who was an Irishman at the time.
I remember.
My name is Finley, and I love to fight. And he goes out with a shillelagh. Yeah. And so he came out, and he's like, no, McMahon, that's my son. And then they had a fight, and it came out that Finley was his dad. And so they just became kind of this weird tag team thing where one came out and the other one came out.
Wrestling is wild, bro.
So McMahon fought God.
Yes.
Then got into some beef with some regular dudes and got blown up in a car.
Yes.
My
what was the
God,
reason
what
for
an
his
arc,
return?
dude.
So what happened was
Did he fight God in heaven and hell?
no. Well, the problem is that part was scrapped, and we really don't know what was supposed to happen afterward because they didn't go
I wonder
through
if
with
there's
it.
like an unreleased.
So he just
somewhere.
showed back up?
Yeah. So what happened is because Chris Benoit died, they did a tribute episode. They didn't have anyone there. McMahon was the one that kind of walked through this tribute show. So clearly, real life broke the storyline. They had to bring everyone back. They had to have a real moment. So that's what killed the storyline. And they didn't know what to do with it after because McMahon was supposed to be dead. And there was some big thing where he was supposed to come back. But obviously all that scrapped and lost in the fucking archives as to what the story was supposed to be.
I'm going to get so close to Vince McMahon. So very close. I'm going to befriend him, love him, become his wife even. And I'm going to figure out what the fuck was supposed to happen.
We're going to add McMahon on Twitter and we're just going to at him and be like, what really happened after the limo explosion?
You better be careful. He'll fire us.
I mean, with budget cuts, he's been firing everyone last year, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Imagine we got him on here and he just screamed at us for the whole 45 fucking minutes.
I would be so happy if that happened.
I would just sit here and take it. I'd be like,
Yeah,
yes,
like-
sir.
Like
Yes, sir.
we all get naked and just kind of lay on the floor while he stands on the table screaming
To be
at us.
honest, the McMahon that we remember 20 years ago is not the McMahon we have now. He's a lot older. He's a lot more mild. He's not the wild card he used to be. He wasn't the big heel he used to be. He's an aged man.
Yeah.
So
He aged like fine wine.
funny enough, we're gonna segue into this. We talked about the Samoan families that really, brought the WWE together. They're real famous, right? So I want to fight about something. It is gonna be a weird connection. So you've got these families, right? They're like clans.
As you would. God damn.
And Naruto has clans.
Yeah.
You see the connection he's making, boys?
What is the best clan in the Naruto universe?
Are we excluding the Uchihas here?
And
Because
Senju.
That would be way too easy.
Yeah. You can't pick like the Senju or the Uchiha
Uchiha. What
because
about
like
the Uzumakis?
they're busted. Well, I mean,
yeah, they're all dead too.
yeah.
Well, if you picked Uchiha, I'm just saying y'all dead. None of y'all survived. There's
Yeah,
like-
I mean, for a clan that's the strongest, sure. But wait, we're not arguing. Come on, guys. What's your favorite clan?
Hyuga. No, wait, I hate the Hyuga. Sarutobi.
You like the Sarutobi clan?
Yeah, Asuma's amazing.
I mean, yeah, no, he's cool.
they're
but he's-
okay.
I like how he has daddy issues too. And like his dad's the third Hokage.
Oh, I'm cool because I have daddy issues, says the guy who has daddy issues.
So did wait. So did Sasuke.
Yeah, but Asuma's cooler. He smokes, and smoking's cool.
Smoking? What?
Smoking
What are you
is
talking
awesome.
about? Hits hookah.
It is the
Smoking
best.
is bad, kids. Okay, so you're Sarutobi.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just miles above everybody else.
Bobby.
I like the Hyugas. Do you want a reasoning?
Yeah, of course. Defend yourself.
Well, like, I don't know, man. They're kind of like, in early Naruto, like the first series, they were the shit. They were
Hinata's overrated.
Huh?
Hinata's overrated.
Yeah, okay, cool. She's overrated, but Neji was like next to Rock Lee. Neji was my favorite side character in Naruto. I love the drip. I love the eyes. I love all of it. Back when the Byakugan meant something, and it wasn't like because there were actually
They took
other,
a backseat.
there was a
to
lot
the
of other
ones.
dojutsus, but like Byakugan stood above that. But then everything else, like the Tensei the fucking Renegon, the fucking Mangekyo Sharingan, it was just all Enegon. There was no more Byakugan.
The poor Byakugan really got shafted.
Yeah,
and
it
that's
really
going to be my main argument against the Hyugas, is that they were put in the backseat.
Yep. They were, unfortunately, but like I just think they're cool, man. I love the dojutsu ability. It's just so cool. And like
Tony, who's your guys?
I love the Nara clan.
Like Shikamaru?
Yeah, like Shikamaru. He's fucking
that's
awesome.
a good answer. Not as good as Sarutobi's. Because
Nah.
we get it,
nah,
Brad. You want
nah.
to be different with your answer.
Shikamaru would body Asuma.
what?
Any fucking day.
No.
Any fucking
Absolutely
day.
not.
It was his star pupil. I kind of have to give it to Tony here. You got to think. Shikamaru was Asuma's star pupil.
Dude, of the original set, like the Konoha 11, right? 11?
I think it's
12? I think it's 12.
It's 9 because Neji, Rock Lee, and Tenten don't count.
Yeah, they do
Because
count.
no,
But
they were-
count in like
They were a year above. They are not part of the Konoha
They were-
9.
But nobody calls it the Konoha 9.
Yes, they do.
No, it's the Konoha 12.
It's the Konoha 9.
It's the 12.
No, it's not. Learn that.
Anyways,
Okay, now I have to side with Brad. They are a beat above. It was Naruto's team. It was Kiba's team, and it was who's the fucking
and on the official Wikipedia, it is known as the Konoha 11.
What?
No.
Wait, where's the...
No, it's
What
bullshit.
happened to number 12?
Dude, no.
Sasuke get cut because he kind of went like...
Sasuke's on the
Evil.
picture. It's
Oh, that
fucking.
makes sense.
It's
Actually.
fucking the bug dude. I can't remember his name.
Shino?
Hinata, Kiba, Ino, Choji, Shikamaru, Naruto, Sakura for some reason. I don't even think. I'm thinking of the rescue squad. Never mind. Neji, Rock Lee, and Tenten.
So Sasuke's just
No,
not
because
counting.
they literally,
because he.
because it at the fucking in the war arc, they literally go, oh, the Konoha 9 back together, and it's all 9 of them.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
like, the
not go
fans
fuck
know
yourself.
it as the Konoha
Not go
11.
fuck
Guys. You're all talking about great leaf ninjas. I get it. They're pretty cool. But truly,
Let me guess, you're going to say something about, like, sand or some shit.
and they don't have an official name because only the leaf villages really have surnames. But it has to be the Kazekage clan. It's Gaara, all of the old Kazekages, and his brother and sister. And technically, if we want to get specific, it also brings in the Naras because they kind of intermarried at the end of Shippuden.
Yeah, no,
So
yeah, no.
they merged their houses.
Me and Steve are family over
They're-
here. We're family. You guys suck.
But if we really boil down to it, the abilities are just way better than anything you guys have.
That's not true.
They manipulate sand. They manipulate they're one of the strongest wind users and puppets.
But do they smoke?
Smoking does not make you that cool.
No, cancer makes you stronger.
Oh, cancer makes you stronger.
Cancer
That
makes you
didn't work.
stronger.
That didn't work for Itachi.
No, Ninja AIDS got him. That wasn't cancer.
Nagato
AIDS
had
killed him.
ninja cancer.
Yeah.
But no, you guys are all wrong. It's the Sand Village. It's the Kazekage clan.
Man,
They're the
I'm
best.
just gonna be honest.
Nah, dude,
I'm gonna be real with you. I just think the Hyugas are cool. I don't have any real reasoning as to why they're just like the better clan because they do have their flaws. But like, fuck, man.
Shikamaru killed immortality. Dude, that man is
Well,
50 steps ahead of whatever shit you're bringing to the
technically, he just put him in a hole, but whatever.
table. He's dead, as far as we're concerned.
Yeah,
He's not technically dead. He's been buried. And
well,
he can't come out.
actually-
if he doesn't tribute to Joshin, he does lose his
Yeah.
immortality.
Oh,
So
I
he
didn't
is-
know that.
Yeah, so he is
actually
dead.
Oh, so he's dead. Okay. Well, what's the time frame? How long has it been? Like how many times has he had to
about
sacrifice
halfway
the
there.
Kardashian?
Wait, did you say 50? Yes.
No. How long does the?
Oh, it's been like what, like 20 some years?
At this point.
How many times does he have to sacrifice the Joshin? Is what I'm asking.
Like
Oh.
once a day or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact rules are.
Man,
His,
just
his
carry
whole
on
power
fucking, like-
set is really cool, but not well explained, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, if there's anything we can all agree on,
Don't say it.
That's scary.
No, I know what he's gonna say.
the women writing in Naruto
Fuck!
is terrible.
Oh my god!
It's called Naruto.
This goes beyond gender, man. There are male characters in this show that also got shafted.
It's called Naruto.
If it wasn't the Kazekage clan, I was gonna pick the Aburame.
Yeah,
The bug guys are canonically one of the strongest clans in the village, and they do nothing.
Shino never loses a fight, though.
So wait, okay, I'll change this then. Something we can all agree on is Shino is underutilized.
Yes,
I agree.
100%. 100% agree.
I think this is the first
They
time.
cucked Rock Lee, and I'm tired of pretending they didn't.
No,
You can't give me Gaara versus Rock Lee and then make him just fucking stand on the sidelines.
Hey, you know the part of this segment is supposed to close out the show? Quit arguing with us.
Ah!
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us today, brothers. Please remember to like and subscribe. Maybe share us with your friends. And as always, above and below maniacs, have an above average day.